I'm really tired. Uh, and I just don't know what to think anymore. I mean, whoa. Yeah. About the relatives, like, I wouldn't, okay? I didn't have a lot to do with them, ever. I never knew her. And then she became part of my life when I got sober at 31. But I had made some accusations and allegations and voiced some solid concerns about her, the stepdad, and Eric in my 20s. Big time. At 31, the Blue Book Thumper AA, which I say I am, but I do my actions speak that. Not since I've been on the internet that you have known of me, no. I don't do the AA and thump the big book, but I would do it in the heartbeat if I felt it was the right time to do that. In AA, the big Blue Book Thumpers, they standard tell you to work it out with your family members. I was only trying to achieve this long-term sobriety that I have today, and I just did everything like they told me. But my counselor, which was another essential part of long-term sobriety, was working deeper into the post-traumatic stress of childhood abuse, was saying, whoa. She worked with kids. That was the end of our working together. Was she went to a different place to work with kids, so she knew about this. I don't find it a coincidence that I did a lot of trauma therapy with her, because it was primarily child and teen. Because the last time I saw the primary caregiver, biological mother, I was 18. She left the country, didn't know where she was. She was abandonment. There's all these words that these people use. Neglect, felonious, all of it. Abuse, physical, emotional. It was serious abuse. That's one of the counselors that told me abusers can be nice people. They're not all bad. Usually, no, not in family situations. Marital spouses, the abused woman goes back to those guys because they are always really nice. So, yeah, I just don't know what to think. So when I didn't know her, dude. This is facts, legal stuff. Couldn't say, like, by definition, I knew her that well until I was 31. I would think I was forming a relationship, and this was because I just told you these reasons. I didn't want to ever drink again. I did not know at 31 that I would have to face decades of childhood abuse. Well, I knew it happened, but that I was repressing it, and that it was like a huge reason why I drank. The reason, but not totally, because I think alcoholism isn't just simply solved by one reason, okay? So I was trying to do the right thing by allowing this abuser into my life, and that time span I did that was less than 10 years. And very, very upsetting. But I saw a part of the primary caregiver, biological mother, that seemed to be so sweet. And I sit here in this terrace cell and I reflect, and I'm like, why did I say that? And I analyze as much as I can because it's so noisy and scary here. It's not a lot of analyzing to be done in this environment. I don't know why I said that, because that nice person who wasn't there 100%, that I did not even know was there until I was 31, that nice person was only there about 40% of the time, 30%. Otherwise, it was the old abuser that I always knew, that I kept trying to have some sort of functional relationship with. That's not possible. But I did this because of the blue book by the book. AA was my main drive. I don't regret that, because if there's the only thing that I need to do in life is to stay sober, that's how I see it. I don't want to hear anything else. I'm happy thinking that. I think that's great. Stay sober, Heidi. Everything else will follow. I just don't know what to think. Whatever bullshit they're involved in, clearly I'm pretty sure I'm a sober adult. There's something way clearly going on with them that I never knew. No, because even at 31, I lived on the other side of the country. I didn't know. And when push came to shove, and I went after the Russian mob and the cartel, oh, they went after me. Yeah, and it's been the story ever since. I don't know. That's for the cops, man. That's for the fucking cops. The real cops. So, yeah, it's just real sad. And like my guidance the last week has been, these people chose their lives, okay? Everybody I've been around has chosen to do what they did. The terrorist here, the relatives, the biological sister, I didn't know her either. These are people who chose to do what they did with their lives, just like I chose to do what I did with my life. So, whatever happens to them in their lives, they have to, whether they do or not. Let me rephrase this, because I don't think that the people I'm talking about, that I'm related to, are capable of taking responsibility. Certainly not the abuser, the primary caregiver, no. She's not psychologically, I don't believe, capable of taking responsibility for any actions that she does. No, I wouldn't. Not with that kind of childhood abuse. No. So let me just say this. Any of my relatives, there's a point where, whether they go to prison, which is this, I'm sure that's probably what's going to happen. There's something going on with them like that. Or whatever, they chose that. After a while, look, I had nothing to do with that. I couldn't control it or change what they were doing. It was really important that they kept these lies and secrets going. I lived on the other side of the country. I had not a clue, but I voiced concerns in my 20s, and I stand by those to this day. And then everything else that they've done, it only concretes the concerns that I clearly had in my 20s. Yeah, it's really incredible. So, wow. And I asked Jesus in prayer, I'm like, he just says no. It's never anything else. Have nothing to do with her or him. And this is exactly what the counselor was saying. And she was very alarmed by the actions and statements over the years that I was working with the counselor for childhood abuse. The stuff I would tell her the primary caregiver was doing in that present time of the relationship I was trying to have. I would tell her, I would tell the counselor, I'm afraid to get in the car with her. I would tell the counselor, she tells me I'm lying to you about my traumatic abuse. At the time, I thought, well, she must have some sort of underlying psychological diagnosis or something, the primary caregiver, and that's why she's in so much denial. But I've changed my theory on that. I think the primary caregiver and her current spouse, their narrative for these life insurance policies they've had on me ever since I was in my 20s and I didn't even know about, had to be that I made things up, I imagined everything. And so when she started to deny to me the primary caregiver, the few times I brought it up, because I felt unsafe around her, like my physical safety, when I brought it up. I would report back to my counselor and she would say, you need to stop talking to her. She's not safe. She's done all this abuse. You need to protect yourself. This was back in New York before I ever pounced on the cartel and the Russian mob. This was already coming up all the time in counseling and discussion. So I think now this narrative of her and her spouse for those life insurance policies had to be that I'm making everything up. The childhood abuse, neglect, the truancy, all of it. She would say, you're lying to your therapist. She would look at me. It was frightening to me. And then I would become concerned for my physical safety. You're lying to your therapist. And then she would say, I never abused you. She scared the shit out of me, man. I was like, I'm not ever going to bring this up in a fucking car with her. Ever the fuck again. I'll tell this another time if God tells me to. I'll share this story. But right now, I don't know the outcome of these two individuals, the primary caregiver and her current spouse. This is a term for when you're a dependent, a child. But I don't know what to term her because she's not by definition anywhere near ever been a mother. So I struggle with what to call her. And yeah, I have a right to feel that way. So all I know is she keeps sending this man money. I'm pretty freaked out because they don't stop coming in my door. It's clear what I've been living through and witnessed here. I got these girls with fake nails and pigtails coming to my door and taking notes on me when they should not be doing that. They should be searching this house. And then these two individuals that keep putting life insurance policies on me since I was in my 20s, sending this guy money. Hellbent. Yeah. It's not for my favor because I'll just take him to housing court. But after a while, I realized this terrorism is really serious. You can't take a guy like that to housing court, Heidi. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to fucking do. I'm going to make this my last video of the 24-hour cycle. I believe I'm going to live through this. I don't know when they're going to come back and kick my door in, but they are doing that now, so I have to just expect them to do it again. It's on video that I told them I'd like to be indicated of this, but that's not what they're going to do. They're going to kick my door in and we're going to do this. I hope no more, but I think they're going to keep doing it until they can accomplish silencing the witness. I'm really afraid of the city officials here. And this shit I've witnessed is not my imagination. All right, bye.